Feast of Spanish football heading your way this weekend on Sky Sports. The joint leaders Atletico Madrid up against Malaga at 5:15. Sky Sports 1, followed by Valencia Levante at 7 o'clock. And on Sunday, Barcelona kick off early against Elche, 2:55. That's Sky Sports 3, Osasuna Espanyol at 5, Real Sociedad Athletic Bilbao at 7. And on Monday night, Real Madrid back in action up against Celta Vigo, 5:55. Sky Sports 1. And they have the lead here. Hesse scored the only goal of the first half, which PSG had the lion's share of chances, couldn't take one of theirs. And the youngster from Madrid showed them how to do it. They should be well practiced by 2022 with that Mexican wave. It looks, John, like all those changes could be happening for Madrid at half-time. Would you expect pretty much a new look team, really?
Well, all the big boys are going to come on. I think Modric, Di Maria, Isco, Marcelo, Benzema. So they're going to get stronger, Madrid. There's no doubt about that. But PSG, I don't think they're going to get stronger with their substitutes. I think that's going to maybe weaken them, if anything. So it's in the favour of Real Madrid, but you never know.
Pepe back as well. I know that our commentators will be itching to explain those changes. We'll hand you back to Terry Gibson and Daniel Mann.
Yeah, just looking around, certainly Real Madrid have changed their 10 outfield players. We've got Carvajal, Pepe, Llorente, Marcelo, Modric, Casemiro, Di Maria, Isco, Jaime and Benzema as their outfield lineup. So that much is certain. Lucas Moura definitely on for Paris Saint-Germain as well, Brazilian. So yes, we'll take you through the runners and riders as we go. But Paris Saint-Germain, Terry, with the lineup that they fielded in the first half, they have to feel unlucky to be behind, to say the very least.
Well, unlucky, but I think wasteful, Daniel, in terms of goal-scoring opportunities that were created. As we said just before half-time, so many chances in this game. It's astonishing that it's just the one goal so far. Just gone to Hesse for Real Madrid. I think it's an advantage to Real Madrid when you see the strength of the substitutes that are coming on as well. I'm sure that Blanc is going to make changes to his lineup, but that was his, I would suggest, strongest starting 11. Seeing Thiago Montero, he's obviously coming out for the second half. Cavani as well.
Yeah, spotted Marquinhos out on the field, who's going to take his place at centre-back, a young man who's certainly impressed. Well, something we touched on a little earlier, there's certainly a few desperate for Xabi Alonso to stay around, but he won't be coming out for this second 45. Jaime may be one of the less familiar names for you from the Castilla team. He's arrived on loan from Udinese this season. He is a Spanish under-20 international. And Cavani's still okay. Maxwell is going to get a bit of a run out here, just adding to the ex-Barcelona factor. As is always the case with friendlies of this nature, there's a bit of a wait-and-see element as to exactly who is going to take the field for the second period. Well, two real attacks of note from Real Madrid, and well, they scored from one of them and hit the post with the other in the first
They're
half.
playing the final third when they got the opportunities. Was cracking with the young players, Jose Rodriguez and Hesse, Morata. It's really lively. Now Di Maria, Benzema, Isco, Modric, and Jaime get the chance to play with the superstars of Real Madrid.
A leisurely stroll out for the second period. And a few handshakes with some old friends as well. Well, the old pals act continues. We are about, I'm told, 3 minutes late for kick-off, but these can often take on a leisurely element. That's Lucas Moura, very talented young Brazilian who didn't make the last international squad, funnily enough, but was part of their Confederations Cup success and their Olympic disappointment. really did set their sights on winning that gold medal. The young Brazilian in Marquinhos, who did make his debut during... Well, they're all Brazilians. Maxwell, who's found it difficult to get a first-team place in the last few weeks, is going to come on here. Jesus Fernandez completing the Real Madrid lineup, so it is a completely different 11 in the white that get this second period underway. We wonder whether Paris Saint-Germain's wastefulness will end up costing them. But they have stuck largely with the same team that produced such an excellent showing in that first half. Just the 3 changes. Here's Pepe. Another victorious in that World Cup battle with Ibrahimovic, it shouldn't be forgotten, with Portugal.
Only touch for Karim Benzema. Cavani does really well, really does work hard for his team. Tries to get back whenever possible, then tries to get forward, has got goals this season.
Verratti. This is Lucas Moura. Now Van der Wiel. And Verratti again. Well, Laurent Blanc did say that the cup tie against Brest this week is the one they really want to win. Well, I don't think there would be that much in it, would there?
1-0 down at half-time now. This is a game they want to win.
Ball by Thiago Silva, and that's Thiago Motta into Cavani. Ibrahimovic. Maxwell up against Carvajal there. This is Thiago Motta. Ibrahimovic! Well, he would certainly expect to do better. Not that it mattered.
It must have been a close call. Yes, again, it's another chance for Paris Saint-Germain. It's the right call as well. Zlatan Ibrahimovic goes shade too early. As Maxwell delivers the little clipping cross to the near post, definitely picks out Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I'd be relieved to see the assistant's flag go up, having missed the chance.
Not a bad first involvement for Maxwell either. He's mentioned in a touch-up stage by Lucas Dean lately. This is a man who may be determined to upstage a few. Diego Llorente. Getting an opportunity with the heart of the back line there alongside Pepe. Now Maxwell. Ibrahimovic. Well, he was very, very quiet for the most part when those two came together in the World Cup playoff. Pepe had quite the trouble he might have expected over the 2 legs.
He did get a couple of goals, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, but keep an eye on him for this half.
Yes.
Ex-Barcelona striker and 2 interesting characters, shall we say.
There will be a bit of previous, I think.
Even in a friendly, they'll be looking at being competitive and getting one over each other.
Is Jaime. Casemiro looking to spread it here for Benzema. French eyes on him. He'll be determined to make a point or 2, no doubt. Oh, and coming in on it was Marcelo.
We talked about attacking backs for PSG in the first half. Marcelo is going to carry on that vein for Real Madrid. Captain's armband.
So Isco do deliver. Straightforward for Sirigu. Pepe rising. Missed the game against Valencia just before Christmas for Real Madrid.
Suspended, as you probably guessed.
Yep.
Sergio Ramos was suspended but got a red card overturned. Nacho was the young player alongside Ramos, and it was a slight concern for them. The away game at Valencia was a difficult game. To be missing Ramos and Pepe would have been a problem. Varane, of course, the young Frenchman out injured, has been missing for most of the season.
Yeah, knee problem. Lucas Moura. Llorente doing well to find Jaime.
That would have been the closest we could consider Real Madrid down to the bare bones. It's not often we can say that about a squad that's cost so much money and has such depth, but they had a problem or two in that centre-back position.
Well, what they would regard as bare bones would be regarded as a first team in most places, I would venture to suggest.
It was tongue-in-cheek, I promise you.
It's pretty frightening to see some of the names that have come out in the second half as a kind of reserve lineup, if you like. And there were plenty of youngsters on show in the first half. Here's Di Maria. It's one of the youngsters who's made the difference, Hesse, with the only goal.
I think it's taken some planning from Ancelotti. Very thorough in his preparations. We'll bear in mind that this is the mini mid-season break. So we can use it as a practice game, a training routine, and he's kept the two sides evenly balanced. Experienced players in the first half with a mixture of youngsters, likewise exactly the same in the second half, but a completely different 11. Blanc went with a strong full-strength 11 to start with. Just 3 changes at half-time, so expected substitutions plenty from PSG.
Jaime looking for Marcelo. Certainly hope those two can work well in tandem. Benzema to bring it down! Oh! Well, as I mentioned a moment ago, keen to make a point, and he was so close to extending Real's lead there. Here's Thiago Motta. Cavani. Matuidi. Pepe stemming a potentially growing tide there. Xisco, Jaime. Casemiro, who may be one of those that's not that familiar to you. 21-year-old Brazilian. 3 starts this season. Caught the eye at Sao Paulo.
Benzema can count himself really unlucky. This is world-class play from a striker. Into the box from Marcelo, outside the left foot, chest control, really difficult. How sharp was that? He lets it touch the ground, and as soon as it's on the rise, he swivels. It's great contact on it, and really unlucky. We've counted a few missed chances, haven't we? That was at best a half chance, and he nearly turned it into a goal.
He has patches, doesn't he, where the mood seems to blacken a bit. And then he has his better periods as well.
Yeah, I think he's a player that needs an arm put round him, and that's come from Zinedine Zidane. He's a confident mentor for Karim Benzema, knows his moods, knows his mentality. Zidane has got him back into real top form, real sharp player.
Disco there, Modric. Di Maria. Modric again. Well, a little cameo from Luka Modric.
He has become a really important player for Real Madrid and a crowd favourite. Fans at the Bernabeu absolutely adore Luka Modric now.
It's been a turnaround though, because he was voted the worst signing of 2012 in Marca, wasn't he?
And he wasn't playing. So he was very rarely featuring in the first half of his first season. but still getting criticism from a lot of people. But eventually got his opportunity, and then suddenly people realised in Spain, hang on, this is what he can play. We were all aware of that, and now he's such a really important player for Real Madrid.
Shouldn't have taken them long to realise, should it?
No.
Ibrahimovic. Lucas Moura. Well, Paris Saint-Germain enjoyed the bulk of it in the first half, not so far in the second. Van der Wiel.
The chances are not as frequent, are they, in the second half? We had the header from Ibrahimovic that went over the bar that would have been ruled out for offside, and excellent snapshot from Karim Benzema.
It's a foul on Matuidi. Pepe swiftly on the scene to plead the case.
Yeah, I said in the first half this game was going to be played in a stress-free zone, no angst, no anger, no anxiety, but that's all going to change now Pepe's on. The crowd are anticipating.
What's he got for us?
31 metres, a 2-metre runner. Waits in a power, he gets behind it if he goes for it with full throttle.
He's certainly got the power, if not the accuracy.
He isn't too far over the crossbar, is it? I think he's hoping to do a little bit of movement on it. Try and get the ball down as quickly as possible, but it just takes off there, doesn't it? A 2-step run up. Look at that power. All does its job, although it splits up into 3 different departments. All turn their back. Who can blame them in a mid-season friendly?
Yes. On a day when they want the looks to be damaged. Here's Van der Wiel. Starting maybe to ask some questions again. Lucas Moura. Ibrahimovic. Matuidi. Lucas Moura will take over. Pepe stretching.
Roaming about. Looking to get on the ball as much as possible. Every time he gets it, he looks for Ibrahimovic as well.
It's never usually a bad idea. Oh, and a free header for Thiago Motta. Well, there's another to add to the list of major moments for PSG.
There's a wry smile on the face of Thiago Motta, as if they probably believe that they're not going to score now. 4 yards out, free header, has to score. Unforgivable, he gets it over the crossbar from that range. Using that to jump too high. Comes off the top of his head instead of the forehead. That's a glaring miss from Thiago Motta.
Well, there were days not that long ago when the prospect of facing Real Madrid in any sort of combat looked a distant one for him. Real knee problems. Lucas Moura. A lovely bit of play. Gets it back from Cavani. And Pepe shuts the door.
He had a trial at Portsmouth, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was pretty much written off when he left Barcelona. As I said earlier, when he got that knee injury, he had serious knee problems, knee issues, and I think Portsmouth, I think it was Harry Redknapp, they wanted to sign him, but his knee was a problem. I think after a week's trial it had swollen up and he wasn't in no position to continue. So for him to come back at the level he has, it's a remarkable achievement, one that should be overlooked actually. Although he still should have scored that header.
Yes. He's got the prospect of a World Cup in the country in which he was born, playing for somebody else in the summer, which is an interesting one. To get an official word from FIFA over quite how significant his appearances in the CONCACAF Gold Cup for Brazil were in 2003. And because the Brazilian FA decreed it an Olympic team, he was then able to get a senior cap with Italy.
It's 18 caps now, isn't it? It's up to them.
Verratti. Maxwell. Cavani up against Pepe.
He's only been on 15 minutes, and I think he's clearly given away the most fouls of any player on the pitch, and we're up to the hour mark.
Van der Wiel. Straight forward for Jesus Fernandez. Jaime chasing. And Thiago Silva across. And the almost inevitable free kick comes. Jaime on that left-hand side, I suppose, by footballing standards, he's certainly not in his first flush of youth at 23 by any means.
I mean, you can imagine how hard it is for a young player to break into the senior squad at Real Madrid. So they have the B team, which is really useful. It means that they can be a little bit more patient with the youngsters that they see coming through. Don't have to give up with them at the age of 20, 21. And it isn't unusual, Daniel, in the whole of La Liga for young players at the age of 23, 24 to come out of the B team in their respective clubs and be really good players.
Well, Cavani's night is over. And hasn't he had his chances? So Jeremy Menez is his replacement. Changes as well. Javier Pastore and Adrien Rabiot being prepared. Rabiot, 18 years of age, around the first team squad for a couple of years now. As an even younger man, he had a spell at Manchester City.
I worked at the time, man. He must have been about 14 years old.
He went there when he was 13. Joined PSG when he was 15. A little spell at Po, which is more rugby territory, I suppose, in between. Here's Marcelo. He's appealing for handball against Van der Wiel. Not vociferously, it must be said. Marcelo. Benzema. Rabiot, keen to make an impression. Full of enthusiasm and no fear. Jeremy Menez is still yet to make his way on. He was the first in the queue, yet not able to make an entrance yet. It's Pastore. It's a little bit of a fall from grace as their record signing. He's only started 4 games in the last 22 in competitive battles. Benzema. Di Maria having a turn on the style. Marquinhos. Spectacular. Isco. Tweedy robust. Here's Lucas Moura. Ibrahimovic. Now Jeremy Menez can make a rather belated entrance.
The problem was the 3 subs had all come off. Only 2 players went on. So PSG were down to 10 men for a minute or so.
Pastore looking for Van der Wiel. There's maybe a player that needs to re-establish himself in that gentleman's side. They had a little bit of a tiff while he was warming up as a substitute during Champions League match against Benfica earlier in the season. He's had his injury difficulties. Started the season blighted because he needed a hernia operation. Certainly would have helped matters. There's Rabiot. Full of enthusiasm and no fear is about right. Lucas Moura in behind.
Couldn't be exactly right. We've seen that from the majority of the young players today, haven't we? It's been a real feature of the game. The performances of the young players from Real Madrid and PSG, and Lucas Moura there. Unlucky, difficult ball to control.
Di Maria. Benzema. Run through to Maxwell. But, Benzema putting the squeeze on Rabiot. He's made plenty of appearances off the bench and the odd start this season for Paris Saint-Germain. Isco. Now Di Maria. It's opened up for him here. Still the odd murmur about potentially Manchester United showing an interest in Angel Di Maria. There are plenty of clubs that have down the years.
And I think there will be plenty of clubs again in the window, and now the window is open. So he lost his place in the strongest starting 11 for Real Madrid to Gareth Bale. And he has performed well when he's been called upon this season. When Gareth Bale missed the beginning of the season, Di Maria was in excellent form, and then Gareth Bale's come in and scored goals, assisted teammates' goal-scoring opportunities as well. Di Maria will probably feel he deserves to be playing somewhere for one of the major teams in Europe and being a first-choice player.
Small matter of a World Cup in the summer as well. You want to have your edge sharpened before that. Matuidi to Ibrahimovic. Van der Veel's cross. Rabiot. Ibrahimovic. Menez. Fitted across, and Marcelo grateful that that ends up in relative safety rather than the back of his own net.
And receives a high five from Diego Llorente. An outside edge from Marcelo. Goes high and wide. And that's really well, gets to the byline, gets it across the 6-yard box.
Little hint of panic in those eyes for a moment. Oh, and Thiago Silva in there. Rabiot, Thiago Silva again. Trying to wriggle a shooting opportunity. Van der Veel, Lucas Moura. Llorente able to step into good effect. Van der Veel. Nicely done there by Pastore. Menez. Oh, a bit of promise for Paris Saint-Germain as we head into the final quarter of the game. Isco. Benzema. It's maybe dipped from the frenetic barrage of chances in the first half, but that's more of a compliment to the first period than deriding the second.
Yep, and this looks like the last 20 minutes or so. It's going to be end-to-end stuff, isn't it? Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Rabiot. Thiago Silva. Matuidi. Pastore. Van der Veel. Menez. Here's Rabiot. Matuidi caught out. Di Maria buzzing around. Ibrahimovic showing for it. Pastore. Pepe shut the door. Modric. Oh, lovely play from Luka Modric, and here's Jaime. Oh, scented glory.
Probably unrealistic there from the young player. The players in support. A little bit more patience from Jaime.
But again, it was a lovely little cameo from Luka Modric, wasn't it?
Yep. Quick feet. Now he can find the pass. We know he's accurate with his passing as well. But the game isn't as structured as it was in the first half. You know, that's going to happen naturally with the amount of changes, the substitutions. Different players take different amounts of time to get used to the tempo of the game. The shape of the team isn't what it was when they started the game from both teams.
Story to fizz it across. There's Maxwell in the end with the cross, and Pastore among those waiting.
Against Maxwell, showing no signs of slowing down.
Pastore suggesting, why don't you go for the pullback? He'd found a bit of space.
He's 32, Maxwell. Looks to be the same player, doesn't he? Adventurous as ever. He fits into this system of play that Laurent Blanc wants, where the full-backs push on.
Champions League medal with Barcelona back in 2011. And they produced that simply stunning display at Wembley. Pepe having to deal with that.
Comes as part of the package with Zlatan as well, doesn't it? They tend to follow each other about. Ajax and Inter and Barcelona, PSG.
Well, as ever, you can watch Real Madrid every time they step out into action here on Sky Sports, and they're back in league action on Monday night against Celta Vigo at the Bernabeu. Join us from 5:55 on Sky Sports 1. They've got a battle on their hands, haven't they? There's quite a gap between themselves and Barca and Atletico at the moment. 5 points. And the form of Diego Costa this season has helped propel Atletico just that little bit further.
Yeah, it's certainly not beyond Ancelotti's side to get firmly back in the title race. Barcelona play Atletico Madrid, the second game after the break. I guess Real Madrid will be hoping that's a draw. They pick up maximum points, the gap will be closed. They have to play Atletico and Barcelona again. Hopefully it's going to be an exciting second half of the season. I'm sure Zlatan Ibrahimovic hopes it's going to be that for PSG this year.
Well, it's goodbye to him, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Young Kingsley Coman, 17 years of age, the youngest ever league player. His replacement, he beat a record held by a certain Monsieur Anelka. Also coming on there is Ervan Anjanda. Coman, Menez. Coman again, sprightly turn. On the deflection, where's it going to drop? Whoa, what a brilliant piece of defending in the end by Carvajal. Now Real can get motoring well. Javier proving to be a bit of a roadblock for Di Maria.
Menez links up with Coman and a substitute. And Jonda, who gets there at the far post. Blanc trying to find someone that's going to finish off one of these chances.
Good first impression from Kingsley Coman there, and Anjanda, player who they think is a real jewel for Paris Saint-Germain. Reynaud, who is the recruitment guru at the club, turning up another little nugget of gold. Here's Modric. Carvajal on to Di Maria. Benzema waits. Came off Thiago Silva.
Di Maria tries to flash it across goal again. Thiago Silva does just enough to Deny the cross, going into the box, into goal-scoring position.
Well, Sirigu, Van der Wiel and Thiago Silva now the only 3 remaining starters out there for Paris Saint-Germain.
Assuming that Angel Di Maria is going for goal there. Puts the far post round to Casemiro. Sirigu had it covered all the way.
We didn't make the cut, Sirigu, for the last World Cup, but you'd think he would be pretty much a certainty to be on the plane this time. Went to the Euros. Casemiro. Marcelo. Oh, bit of space for Isco.
Takes the attempt on from distance. Thiago Silva again does well, blocking crosses, blocking shots. Doing what good central defenders should do naturally. A chance or two for a pass from Isco there to Benzema, Di Maria in support.
Marquinhos rising well in the middle there for Paris Saint-Germain. This is Modric. Pepe. Casemiro. Marcelo. Benzema. Back to Marcelo. Jaime. Able to deliver. Wholly convincingly cleared, but they got away with it. Pastore. Rabiot. Combative figure in there. He lost out that time. Casemiro for Real Madrid. Marcelo. Jaime. Join us late. Not quite the expected weather in Doha for this friendly. Quality of football and number of chances has probably exceeded expectations. Benzema trying to find a way through. Rabiot. And at the moment it looks as though the French side's wastefulness in the first half is going to cost them.
Yep, no, it certainly hasn't. It's been really good as a spectacle. There's still plenty of time left, and I think it's been as competitive as we could have hoped for. The standard of skill, especially, has been really good. You can only count 2 poor first touches in the whole game. One from Van der Wiel, one from Marcelo. The rest of it, technically, has been brilliant. It's just the important part of the game. We're looking at a 1-0 scoreline. It could be something like 5-4.
It could quite easily change in a moment. Javier Pastore, who you would argue needs a bit of a confidence boost. Make anything of that particular situation. He's quite an exuberant character around the camp, they say. Natural mimic by all accounts, so he can take off a few of the prominent figures in the game. He's not had an awful lot to be exuberant about as far as a starting place is concerned.
As I say, he needs to start doing an impersonation of a good footballer to get his place back in the team, score a few goals. Big money signing, wasn't it? What has been expected of him.
Not quite for Sirigu. Di Maria. Well, Isco. Pastore able to win that. In need of a route out of trouble. He's found one initially. Menez.
That's the player we were talking about. Really good skills. Been appreciated by Isco as it's a friendly.
Pastore wasn't the last Argentinian World Cup squad in South Africa. His star was really on the rise back then. Actually, he was a record buy for Paris Saint-Germain, but things tend to change quickly in that respect. Club at the moment. Oh, it got away from Coman the first time. Able to try and retrieve it.
Something different from the PSG attack, isn't it? The player that wants to run in behind. Straightforward ball over the top. His first touch just about gets away from him, and Jesus Fernandez tries full length. Doesn't go down, commit himself too early. It's good goalkeeping.
Oh, Rabiot's header.
He has been really impressive since he came on. Tall in stature, likes to get about the pitch, puts his foot in. Good aerial ability there as well. A threat from a set piece. I'm sure he's only 18.
A name to remember.
And again, it's another attempt on goal, and unfortunately for PSG, one that again doesn't hit the target.
Yeah, there's been a fair bit of frustration for Laurent Blanc. Had the opportunities. Maybe saving up the quality finishing for the challenge of Brest in the Coupe de France, which is next on the agenda. It's only run by Lucas Moura. Terrific stuff. Well, it was Carvajal in the end who was in the way. Got a glimpse again of his considerable talents.
Excellent skills from Lucas Moura. Carvajal does well, gets across the goalkeeper, and is not called into making a save.
Pastore. Menez. Pepe looking for the flag there. Menez. Open up for the shot! Oh.
Tell by the player's reaction how close this is. And again, it's good skill. He does really well because he keeps it in the 18-yard box, makes it really dangerous for anyone to make a tackle. Gets back onto his right foot. I'm talking inches there again, one of the closest that after many opportunities and attempts at goal that PSG have had. It's an excellent strike. It's just slightly swinging away, isn't it?
Well, you'll be wondering how on earth they haven't scored today. Hesse's goal in the first half, and a few real Real raids. The difference between the two teams at the moment, mind you, they had two real attacks in that first half as Jesus Fernandez gets him out of a tight spot, and they scored and hit the post.
And then Benzema hits the bar in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. Rabiot. Here's Isco. There's certainly some promise about this. 5-on-2, and they've got to make the most of it, surely. Angel Di Maria. Oh, Paris Saint-Germain really let off the hook there.
And in fairness to Paris Saint-Germain, 6 players got back. They turned that 5 against 2 into 6 against 5. Really quickly, showed a good attitude. Late in the game, it was mid-season friendly to get back and deny a goal for Real Madrid.
That kind of desire is where it all comes from, isn't it? Isco, can he wriggle his way through? Jaime. Marcelo. And Benzema coming in, and Maxwell had to be aware of that fact.
Maxwell has to get something on this cross, doesn't it, at the far post, and does the right thing and just flicking it on.
Grimace on the face of Thiago Silva. And it's that kind of sight that is the very thing they'd want to avoid on an occasion like this. Lucas Moura with Menez up with him. Here's Menez. Jonda keen to join them in the middle.
I think Menez was happy with the timing of the pass there, or perhaps the weight on the pass. A promising counter-attack. Moura and Menez. Carvajal does well. Marcelo is playing Menez onside. After a split second of hesitation from Carvajal, he gets back. So it's on Jonda to deliver.
Thiago Silva moving a little more freely now. Very sizable investment. One there will be distinctly protective of if there's any kind of risk. Quite a formidable team, that, on the bench, isn't it? Plenty of knowledge to tap into. Maybe a few better for Zidane to learn the arts of management under. Phenomenal record Carlo Ancelotti has got, and it's often forgotten what a good player he was as well.
Very much so. AC Milan team in the 80s.
What a team, what a team. I was allowed to stay up late on a Wednesday night. They were wonderful to watch.
Now you make me feel old, Daniel.
I'm sorry. The VHS came in handy. This is Marcelo. Marcelo again. Lucas Moura. Well, Paris Saint-Germain still hunting that equaliser. It's on Jonda. Up against Carvajal. That's really good play, Maxwell. Carvajal stopping the cross from causing a further threat.
Competitive nature is evident, isn't it? Maxwell getting forward. Plenty of urgency there in that PSG attack to try and get an equaliser. A little back heel from Van on Jonda.
Urgency in the defending from Carvajal. They're still hopeful that their colleagues can even the score, despite their profligacy at times in front of goal. Oh, and well may he hold his head in his hands there, Lucas Moura.
How many chances have they had at that near post in that similar area from set pieces? And it comes off his shoulder from Lucas. So one come off the top of the head of Motto, and he should have met it clearly with his forehead. On that occasion again, Moura was guilty of another glaring miss. There's been a weakness of Real Madrid this season, defending corners, defending set pieces.
Well, frankly, I've long ago lost count of the number of glorious opportunities Paris Saint-Germain have had, but statistic must be fairly misleading, I think. Coman, it's opened up for him.
In fairness, they're probably direct attempts on goal, and what we have been critical of PSG is the fact they've missed the target on so many occasions. And keeping with the fashion, Coman hits it high and wide. And a good little trip for the young players, though. Plenty of teenagers involved for both teams to mix with the senior players. We saw the encouragement from Ibrahimovic when he was on the bench. Sort of work from Irvin and Jonda. Just to mix and train with those players. 2 or 3 days, you learn so much as a young player, a young professional.
Yeah, particularly for those who an established part of the first team squad like Coman and Jonda. Rabiot, you'd certainly say, is that now. But both have had fleeting roles to play in the PSG story this season.
The same goes for the Real Madrid youngsters as well.
Marquinhos, another who would come into the youngster category. Referee not quite fleet of foot enough on occasion. This is the reason why the free kick was given. Carvajal's challenge.
Trick there.
Certainly keeping up with play.
Another set piece, possibly the last one.
Oh, and Jesus Fernandez into traffic. No harm done from his point of view. Here's Lucas Moura. Jonda's cross. Pastore just couldn't grow enough, and all for the spectators' money. 3 added minutes. You've certainly had full value for it in terms of the contest. A good edge to it at times as well as a lot of quality and a lot of chances.
And played in a really good atmosphere as well. I think the supporters have enjoyed watching the A-listers in world football here. Just a shame there hasn't been more goals, but certainly has been put a want of trying from both teams.
As in July, when they met in slightly different climatic conditions in Gothenburg. It'll probably be pretty similar. Gothenburg summer, Doha winter. But 1-0 to Real Madrid is the situation. Menez. Modric. And everything he's done tonight has had a real stamp of class and quality on it.
And always tidy, isn't it? Always nice, neat, tidy. Immaculate first touch, good passing accuracy.
Marcelo. And Jaime is off again, striding down that flank. Thiago Silva. Pastore looking for Lucas Moura. One last chance surely for Paris Saint-Germain. There's dazzling feet from Moura.
Again, he's right, dazzling feet from Moura. Doesn't really catch it as he would like with his left foot. Doesn't get a clean attempt on goal. Scuffs it into the ground, and again Fernandez watches it goes past the post. Another attempt off target. Shooting practice, I think, next couple of days for the PSG players.
Well, a thoroughly enjoyable evening in Doha. Some great football on show. A little bit of frustration, no doubt, for Laurent Blanc, that they weren't able to grab a goal from a barrage of chances. But in the end, Terry, a great watch.
Yep, no, it was a great watch. A good mid-season workout in this mini break. No injury concerns for either manager. And then we'll go on now to greater and much more important issues in the second half of the season. And both teams are in really good shape.
And it's Real who take the victory amidst all the stellar talent. It's one of their promising youngsters, Hesse, who got the only goal of the game. It finishes here. Paris Saint-Germain 0, Real Madrid 1.
And yes, of course, we would have liked to have seen more goals, and so I'm sure that the locals would have as well. The 50,000 to turn up the Khalifa Stadium to see their stars that they would only normally glimpse on their televisions from across the world. They've seen them up in the flesh, and they won't have been disappointed by their effort or indeed the quality on show. And as Terry was saying, it was only really the finishing that let both sides down, particularly Paris Saint-Germain had so many goal attempts but couldn't find an equaliser. 2022, of course, the World Cup heading to Doha. The pitch has been in good nick. It's a nice-looking stadium. The weather's been perfect in the winter months. So good workout for both teams. And the Spanish action is just around the corner. The return after the winter break, Malaga Atletico Madrid kicks it all off on Saturday. 5:15, that's Sky Sports 1, followed by Valencia Levante at 7. And on Sunday, it's Spanish all the way. Barcelona Elche, 2:55. Sky Sports 3 this time, followed by Osasuna Espanyol at 5. And Real Sociedad Athletic Bilbao at 7, and then Real back in action on Monday night as they take on Celta Vigo from 5:55. That game, Sky Sports 1. John Collins is here to look back on the best of the action. There was plenty of good action. In fact, the only thing really we were missing was goals. Just the one, it came in the first half, and Real got the better of Paris Saint-Germain.